You have a gut feeling, don't you? The vibe in the office has shifted. The emails are shorter. The eye contact is gone. You aren't being fired, but you certainly aren't being included anymore. They call it quiet firing. It is the passive, aggressive, cowardly cousin of a layoff. It's when management makes your work life so miserable, so stagnant, or so impossible that you choose to leave on your own. It saves them the severance package, and it saves them the uncomfortable conversation. But for you, it can destroy your confidence and derail your career. If you feel like you're suddenly invisible, or conversely, under a microscope for things that never mattered before, you need to watch this video. Because today we aren't talking about leadership fluff. We are talking about career survival. Hi everyone, I'm Ravigmotwani. So usually on this channel, we talk about how to be a better leader. But today, we have flipped the script. We need to talk about what happens when you work for a leader who has decided you are no longer part of the future, but refuses to tell you to your face. In the corporate world, this is a tactic used to bypass HR red tape. Now, if they fire you, they need cause. If they make you quit, you're just a number for them. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to break down the specific subtle signs of quiet firing and also toxic boss behaviors. We are going to move beyond the obvious mean boss tropes and look at the strategic dismantling of your role, from resource sabotage to the impossible standard. And more importantly, stay with me until the end, because I'm going to give you the paper trail protocol, the exact steps you need to take to protect your reputation and your paycheck when you realize you're in the crosshairs. So let's get into it. The first and most common sign of quiet firing is exclusion. But I want you to look closely at how this happens. It's rarely a sudden announcement. It's a slow fade. Are you suddenly left off calendar invites for meetings you used to lead? Or maybe you're invited, but your role has shifted from decision maker to silent observer. Pay attention to the meeting after the meeting. This is a classic toxic tactic. You have the official meeting, decisions are made, and then you find out later that the real decision was made in a hallway conversation you weren't part of. This is distinct from being busy. This is the removal of access. If you're being cut off from key projects, or if social events are happening and you're the only one who didn't get the memo, this is not an accident. That is a signal. Another subtle variation of this is the ghost boss. Does your boss cancel your one-on-ones? Once is an emergency, right? Twice, it's a coincidence. 3 times is a message. If they are consistently avoiding interactions, distant or physical turning away when you approach, they are disengaging from you emotionally and professionally. They are hoping that if they ignore you long enough, you'll just fade away. If you are experiencing this, do not suffer in silence. Send an email confirming the cancellation and ask for a reschedule. Make them go on the record that they are unavailable to support you. Now let's look at the opposite end of the spectrum. Sometimes they don't ignore you. Sometimes they decide to break you. This leads us to the second major sign, resource sabotage and the impossible standard. Now, in a healthy environment, a leader's job is to clear obstacles. In a quiet firing scenario, the leader creates the obstacles for you. Ask yourself these 3 questions. First one, have your targets been raised while other resources, like budget, time, team, they have been cut? Second, are you suddenly being micromanaged on tasks you've done successfully for years? And the last one, third one, is information being withheld until the last minute? This is what we call setting you up to fail. Let's talk about the criticism. There is constructive feedback, which is specific and actionable, and then there is nitpicking. If your boss is suddenly obsessed with the font size of your slides rather than the revenue numbers that you brought in, that is a red flag. If the criticism undermines your confidence rather than building your skill set, it is toxic. Watch out for the moving goalpost. You hit the target they asked for, but they say, well, actually, we needed this other thing instead. This is actually designed to exhaust you. It is psychological warfare. They want you to feel incompetent so that when you finally quit, you feel like it was your fault. Do not internalize this. If the rules keep changing, the game is rigged. The third category of signs is what I call the career deep freeze. This is about your future. In a normal job, there's a trajectory. In a quiet firing scenario, you hit a wall. Have you been passed over for raises, for bonuses, or promotions despite solid performance reviews in the past? This is the most tangible financial evidence of quiet firing, but it's also in the subtle comments. Listen to the tone. Is there a coldness, short, one-word replies to your long, thoughtful emails, visible irritation when you speak in meetings? And then there is the happiness trap. This is actually the biggest tell of them all. If your boss sits you down and says something like this, I sense you're not enjoying this role anymore. I wonder if you'd be happier in a different environment. Or is this really what you want to be doing? They are not concerned about your happiness. They are just planting the seed of resignation. They are giving you the permission to quit because they don't have the courage to fire you. They might also strip away the meaningful tasks, the work you love, and replace them with busy work or, administrative manual tasks. They are making the job boring on purpose. If you see these signs, the career deep freeze has set in. And waiting for it to thaw is not a strategy. So let's take a deep breath. I know this is heavy, but panic is not a strategy. Action is. If you identified with any of these signs we just discussed, you need to enter career survival mode. And here is your protocol. Step 1, document everything. Stop relying on verbal conversations. If your boss gives you like a vague criticism in the hallway, go back to your desk and send an email. Hi boss, whatever his or her name is. Just to recap our conversation, you mentioned XYZ, and I will work on that by doing ABC. Please let me know if I misunderstood. Now you're creating a paper trail that proves that you're responsive and you're professional. Step 2, clarify expectations. If the goalposts are moving, freeze them in writing. Send an email outlining your current projects and priorities and ask for confirmation. If they try to say you didn't do your job later, you have their approval on file, on paper. And step 3, engage your network. Quiet firing relies on isolation. Break it. Reach out to mentors, other department heads, or your external network. Do not badmouth your boss, but start making your value visible to others in the company. Okay. And step 4, prepare your exit. This is the hard truth. You cannot fix a toxic boss who wants you gone. Your energy is better spent finding a place where you are valued. Update your resume. Start taking calls. The best revenge is a higher salary at a better company. Look, realizing you're being fired is painful. It feels personal, but usually it's not. It's a failure of the leadership on their part. So do not let their inability to manage destroy your self-worth. You're a professional. Spot the signs, document your reality, and plan your next move with your head held high. You are the CEO of your own career. Don't let anyone else drive it into the ground. If you found this video helpful, or if you've ever experienced these signs, hit that like button. It helps this message reach other people who might be struggling in silence right now. And let me know in the comments, what is the most ridiculous, passive, aggressive thing that a boss has ever done to you? I read every comment. This is Ravi Motwani signing off. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.